So I read this book recently, and it's predominantly a business book, but I got a lot of good points from it, and even some points that are not from it, but something or a passage that I read that sort of made me sort of come up with an idea. And I guess this is kind of just a video for someone looking for a few tips to help them make those changes in life where you're trying to really grow, you're trying to grow your business or your life or whatever and trying to make changes. But the book that I read is actually called 10x is easier than 2x. So if you're a business guy, you've probably heard of it, read it, seen it maybe. And it was like a really quite a good eye-opening book. Makes you just really think differently about sort of scaling a business or growing a business. And now this is not a book review or anything like that. There's just a few sort of points, but probably number one point that I kind of got from it, or I don't even know if this is actually in the book, this point, but something that made me think of this is that your calendar should look different, or your day should look different, basically every 12 months, or it could be every 6 months, but that how you sort of how you conduct yourself every single day, it should be different if you want to be different. Okay, so you might have seen motivational posts and things like that where it says if you want to change, you've got to change. And it's so true, so obvious, but it kind of made me think, okay, am I actually doing different things each day than I was last year to achieve more in my business? If not, then it's kind of a no-brainer that you're in the same place. So even if you don't have a business, so if you had a job and you wanted to be paid more, but you're doing the exact same things, why are they really going to pay you any more? So you got to look for new, better ways to keep making yourself more valuable in that sort of case. So that's kind of one thing that I sort of came up with. Number two is you've got to, it sounds a bit ridiculous, but let go to grow. So you kind of got to let go of old ideas to be able to sort of let the new ones come in. Now you can obviously have in your head two different thought patterns, but to be able to take on something new, to become and transform, to be a new person, you have to be able to abolish the old ideas that you had and the old sort of identity to be able to sort of be a new person. So those new ideas are going to be very foreign to you, very unusual, not probably going to want to take them on straight away, but you have to sort of jump into the unknown and do those different things to be able to sort of get that different result. And the third one that I've got here is, I've talked about in many of my videos, is the 80-20. So the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, where basically 80% of your results are going to come from 20% of your inputs. So basically, if you have a business, there's probably 20% of things, like a small chunk of things that are really making the biggest difference in your business. And I've taken this on years ago and just kept trying to continually apply it to myself, apply it to my business, my life, and like everything. It really is very, very close to the truth in many, many ways. Now, if you have just, you had a job, you'd probably find that would be the case as well. And you've got to look for it. You have to really sort of make sure you're actually trying to find the 80-20. What is that really sort of pushes the growth in my business or in my life? What is it that really sort of gives me my biggest results? So that's another one that I just constantly keep trying to apply to my life. And finally, constant refinement, just constantly refining your processes and the things that you do in life, constantly refining. Like, I'm always trying to look for inefficiencies in my life, in my business, and what can I do better? How can I get closer to this better version of myself, better version of what my business or what I own, or just becoming a better person. So there's just a few little bits and pieces that I got from this book. Again, not necessarily from this book, but 10x is easier than 2x. Highly recommend it. It certainly makes you think a little bit differently. And just by the way, like, the main premise that I got from the book in terms of growing is kind of kind of what we think about in scaling is like just doing more of what we've been doing. And in essence, that obviously can work, but the actual book is kind of saying, because it says 10x is easier than 2x, which I don't really think that's true, but it's got some truth to it, is that you do different things, is you got to do something completely different to get 10x results. So doing more of what you're already doing, great, that will grow your life or your business in this case, but that completely changing your thinking to actually try and do things in a completely different way, that will sort of help you 10x instead of just 2xing if you were just doing the same thing. I probably completely butchered it, but that's kind of the biggest sort of takeaway I got from that book in that case. So anyway, I hope this video helps you in some way. If you liked it, hit subscribe for more videos like this. Cheers.